Hi guys.
Yo, what's up?
So we have nothing better to do, so we are here talking to you guys now.
That was horrible.
Yes, so we are here to
No,
share.
actually wait, Suraj has nothing better to do. That's why he's made us sit here and
That's why I'm producing.
I will speak on Suraj's side. I think this is a great achievement. Suraj is a very successful human being, and he has brought two other successful human beings here to
This is not scripted. Just because I'm producing it, this is not scripted.
He paid for it. He paid for it.
wait, he's a successful sperm, not a successful human being.
Maybe.
Okay, that made nerdy sense.
That made a lot of sense.
Anyway.
See, I make this show funny, man.
Yo, sure. Like give yourself some.
So guys, I think we will talk about the topic at hand. Let's not digress.
Okay.
We started a couple of companies before we started Quark,
In college.
and those
That's
companies
very-
were pretty much started while we were still students, still in college.
Had no balls to drop out, that's why.
Yeah, and I think we learned.
Yeah, because
we've
we didn't have
learned
money.
certain things from those failures, and this is us sort of discussing those failures with you guys, so that if you try to start a company in college, you don't make the same mistakes, and you are more successful than we were.
Yeah.
To be very frank.
Very much more.
Saying that, I would like to tell you that the first company that you start, be very prepared that it's gonna fail, because it's probably gonna fail. I'm not
The third,
discouraging.
the fourth, the fifth, the sixth.
I'm not
you
discouraging.
don't know, man. Like maybe every company you start might fail. Like
Yeah, so but you have to be right only once.
yeah, you have to write only once. Only
So-
once.
that is
But
good
that's why you
comfort.
should try 100 times so that you can be right once.
It's like a game of
So
probability.
I would actually try to ask these guys, because they are sort of younger than I was, so they started really early. So Quincy is still 23, Suraj is 24. So they started even like I am 25. So they were actually with me in this before sort of like.
Enough of credit giving, yeah.
And no,
So-
not credit giving, but they were third year when we sort of started hustling. So I'd like to know what you guys sort of had in mind when you started
like
your
to
first
start?
company.
So the
And
first of all,
what was your learning from that as well?
So the first thing was the thing I was worried about the most in college was attendance. So how do I get around that? And there have been times where I have been in the detention list, in the list which is like 20% attendance, 30% attendance, and then the
He
teacher
got
comes
out
to me.
freely.
Yeah, the teacher comes and says, "Hey, Winston, why?" And I'm like, "Ma'am, I got to go to EDC. I got to go to Bishop Premier. I want to go to I want to do some hustling on the side." But what happened is that the teachers understood. Teachers always understand and they take your side if you're honest with them. And
Yeah, I think that's very
That is
key.
not for true for civil engineering department. They really gave us a very hard time about attendance. If my teachers, you're seeing this, then I started this company in spite of you guys, not because of you guys.
I don't know. I guess like we had a but the thing is, we had so teachers are in general. Most teachers are understanding and they're okay with you doing something else. And
Yeah, I think I remember in my third
I
and
mean-
fourth year, I was never in the class. I mean, whenever I used to go in the class, I used to get a call from sponsorship, and like I used to just run off, and just they used to be okay with it. And I would consider that as a support, that they did
that
not
is-
force me to be in the
I
class.
mean, that is support.
But I think, guys, what I see common here is one thing, and that is that you guys always reached for things more than you were supposed to.
True.
I think.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean,
So the first thing that I think we get to learn is, if you want to start a company in college, or you want to do something significant in college, proactiveness is probably the number one quality that you can have.
Correct.
exactly. I agree.
And that is not proactiveness just for starting a company,
Correct.
but
In general.
proactiveness to learn.
General.
To learn,
So
to know more, to
maybe you are
grow.
part of the EDC, maybe you are part of some other sort of
Cultural team,
organization, the
yeah.
cultural team, but the proactiveness to do more,
Correct.
to do more than what is just expected from you, I think
Correct.
that is the first thing that we would advise to everybody in college.
Yeah, I
right?
mean,
The being proactive is very
And
important.
Like for example, most people have college from 9 to 5, right? 9 to 5. And then after you go home at 5, you're gonna just sleep. Most people, that's what they do. They fucking go home and sleep. But I mean, I don't think either of us did that. I mean, we used to
No, I
go
don't
home. So
think-
Aditya
we
might
didn't sleep for
go home
nights
and-
also.
Yeah, they used to go home like read. I used to go home, sit on my computer and code like all night. Literally learn, like watch videos on YouTube about programming, watch like random stuff, which go to Reddit sometimes, go to algorithmic channels, geeksforgeeks.org. That channel is pretty awesome. And I used to like go through all these problems and solve them one by one, and that's just what I did. I loved programming, and that's what I did. for like 5 to 11, and then I used to go to bed, and then in the morning I used to go to college one more time.
That
I
actually
think the most excellent experience for me was that in EDC we used to try to go to a lot of events in different cities. So I was born and brought up in this city, same city. I never had a chance to go out and really look at the world and meet new people. So that traveling sort of really helped, whether it was Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai, Bangalore and all of that. That really sort of made me break my, thoughts.
So that really gets me to this one very interesting example, like you said. I remember I was sitting on the last bench in class, and one of my professors was taking a lecture, and I was reading Forbes, okay, and he just came next to me, and I am so shameless that I am not like putting my phone inside. He sees what I'm seeing, and he notices that I'm reading Forbes, and he looked at me, he smiled, and he went away, and he let me just read Forbes. And that moment I realized that all my teachers had given up on me. They were like, he's not disturbing class, so that is fine. As far as he does his own business, we don't have a problem. But I think it is that, I mean, for me it was all about learning how businesses work, how new companies work. And I think all of us were curious in that sense.
I was always in the mode of creating new things. So I loved building stuff just for the heck of it. So we built a lot of stuff in college. We built, so I personally built, so the first thing I actually built was a snake, you know the snake game where like the snake runs around and collects like trophies. That's the first actual like application I built.
Dude, that already was there in Nokia phones, right?
Yeah, dude, I just built it because I wanted to see if I could. Like I used Java for that. Like that was like fucking 5 years ago.
There are already VR companies. Why are you doing a VR company?
Because I have no other job.
The only reason I built that was very selfish. The only reason I built it was because could I build it? Could I, a stupid person who got like 85% in his 12th, could I?
It's so funny because most of us don't have 85% in 12th is not stupid. 85% is actually one of the highest.
Anyway, I had 80%, doesn't matter. So
I think I was.
So I had 63.5%.
I think I was more stupid. I did.
So I literally built it because I thought, while I have so much time, why not just try to build something that I, feel could give value to myself, But then that snowballed into something of like an urge to build stuff for other people to use. So as a programmer, so I'm a programmer, I'm a hardcore programmer. I'm not an entrepreneur, I'm an engineer first, then I'm an entrepreneur, which is what I feel. I mean, I think you guys would agree.
Yeah, so
the reason I'm saying that is because I like to build stuff, and building the snake game literally snowballed into me building a lot of other stuff. Like for example, we built Stingbox. We built.
Wait. That gets me to a very important point for both of you guys, and I mean I'll share my insights as well. What were the mistakes that you thought you personally, as well as a company or as a group we made for in Howzard and Stingbox? So I think talk about that because that's going to help people learn.
I think the first biggest mistake which we did in our first startup, which is around creating a marketplace model for civil suppliers and interior decorators, is that we used to take that idea to a lot of people. Like Aditya was from civil but had not had a lot of industry exposure. I was from mech, he was from computers. We had no idea about how this civil industry of creating homes and all of this stuff works. So we used to go to a lot of mentors which we had made connects to, and each and everyone used to give us a very radical sort of feedback, and we used to change our business model pretty much every day.
Yeah,
I think that was a big
every week. Be fair. Every week.
We used to meet every week, and then we used to come back to the drawing board. It was crazy.
Yes, so I think that is the biggest mistake. You guys want to add?
For me, it was not spending.
I'm entertaining one.
So, building on top of what Suraj said, I think the biggest mistake anybody would ever make is not believing enough in themselves.
True.
Like I think you need to be, unless somebody gives you like very harsh feedback, like very harsh to the point that they have like concrete theory papers supporting their their ideas, until then you should not stop believing yourself. Like because it's your vision, right? True. What you want to do, it's your purpose.
True.
Believe in yourself and you can change the world.
Yeah, believe in yourself.
For us.
Like no matter what people say, don't listen to anybody. You are the person who's going to do it, and nothing is impossible, man. Come on. Like stop living under a rock, man.
So our first idea was to close it down within a year span because we were too young, no balls to drop out. It was a very mature industry and all of that. The second idea was sort of very interesting, I think, which is about what Kiak was doing in US, which again closed down. So I'm really happy that we didn't pursue it. So we call it.
No, right? The execution is all that matters, right?
Maybe.
You never know. Maybe you would execute it better. Maybe you would execute it better. You don't know, right?
So we called it Stingbox. So the idea was to connect people on a location basis. So let's say you are at an event or somewhere where you have 300-400 people around you and you don't know how to do the ice breaking part. So you can just download this app, look at the people around, look at their profiles, and sort of find the interesting person to sort of go to and make a connection. So
dude, are you sure that's not Tinder?
It's not.
You're talking about
Is it Tinder? It's not. Yeah, I was just gonna say it was not for dating.
So yeah, kind of.
It was not for dating.
That's like.
It also had anonymous.
What's the point of being anonymous?
It could be for dating. You never know, man. It could be for dating.
It was not just for dating.
You don't know anything.
So
what if you're talking to a guy as you're anonymous?
that's okay today.
Happened, by the way.
It's okay, Aditya. I accept you the way you are.
300 people were active. I'm sure there was somebody messing around with other females on the platform.
Maybe.
It's bound to happen. The law of probability. Plus, we didn't have a term and conditions. We didn't have terms and
We
conditions.
did not have any privacy policy.
No privacy policies, man.
Like we don't do anything to show.
Legalities.
Yeah, so we had to close that down in like 3 to 4 months because social media is kind of tough to do in India. You need a lot of traction, you need a lot of investors to believe in you, which we don't have, to be very honest, in India.
I personally feel that, we would have pursued it.
Maybe we can restart it.
I think
maybe.
most people, what mistakes they do, or even anybody for that matter, could do is give up too early.
Maybe, yeah.
Like,
I think that was a mistake
6
in.
months is like pointless. Like 6 months.
Yeah, it's not even trying. It doesn't even count.
Like 6 months not doesn't even count. If you're talking about 4 years, then you have some sort of evidence to your hypotheses. But if it's like 6 months, you're doing, I'm doing this for 6 months, and it doesn't work out, and I'm like shutting it down. Nah, bro. 6 months is too less.
So why don't you tell them the third time we were sitting what happened?
Okay, so third time.
After the 2 ideas failed. We were still in college, by the way. Yeah.
So these guys were in college. I was graduated and unemployed. So,
he was kind of employed.
No, I was unemployed.
It's okay. Let's agree to that. He was unemployed. Go ahead, my friend.
But no, so we were sitting. So what we really did was we reverse engineered how to create this business. What we actually did was we found out things that were like technologies that were going to really catch on. So it was virtual reality, IoT, 3D printing,
home automation,
and we realized that virtual reality was something that we could do at that point of time, and which would pay the bills. It would be something we could sell, and that's why we sort of started with virtual reality. I think the second advice that I would personally give to you guys when you start a company is that you need to be very clear on what you're trying to do in terms of your business model or your business plan. We did not make a business plan, but we had a basic idea.
Aditya, I would actually like to slightly disagree there a bit. Even if you're not clear, you should go ahead and just give it a try, because then you will actually find that clarity. No one will have the clarity on the day one, right?
So I agree with that.
The technical aspects of what we did was the freelance to product model, right?
No, so what I'm trying to say is more about that you need to have certain hypotheses on how your business is going to work, and then you need to go test it out. The hypotheses need to be something that makes sense in terms of future monetization or value creation.
No, I think just the problem, what problem you want to...
It's like, so I'll tell you something, like for example, let's say you are a writer, okay, and you want to write for other people, you want to write content. So what's the basic assumption there? People want content. That's the basic assumption, right? So you ask them, you want content, and they're like, yeah. And then you say, okay, I'll write this content for you. And then as you progress, you understand how valuable your time is. And according to the value you create, you can charge them based on that.
Correct.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
And then you can prioritize that in the future.
Exactly.
So you start as a freelancer, and then the FP model.
So this is a very nice analogy which just Winston said, which he learnt last week itself. So don't feel very surprised. Internet.
I didn't learn it last week. I knew this, but I verbalized it last week.
No, who?
Really? Don't call my audience. Don't call our audience, please.
कौन सिखाया तेरे को?
That dude online.
Don't con the audience.
Dude, edit this out.
So Princeton is a part of a social circle.
No, we will not go to that.
Social cult.
No,
I'm
we
a
will
cult
not.
member.
Let's not go to that. I don't want to get, sued as a producer.
You know what, right?
Already
I
getting
don't
sued.
know what this is going to do for our image.
Huh?
This is a good thing, Aditya. It's okay to fail in life.
Do you want to do this?
Do what?
I don't know, man. You want to film this and send it to other people?
We're sending it to the world.
Is this good? Comment below and let me know.
Yes, please comment so that these fuckers can understand how great producer I am to produce this kind
Is
of
he a good
content
producer?
and to bring
I'm
it
not
to you
sure, by
guys.
the way. Like, I'm not invested in this company yet. So I'm not sure. So tell me if I should give him money.
If this episode goes viral, we deserve some sort of royalty, right?
Ads on this video, man. Fucking ads.
Share that first. Yeah,
Million views. So we'll make part 2 if there are 5,000 subscribers.
So to summarize what happened with Quark when we started in college, like almost 2 years back, it's been 23-24 months, is that in last 2 years we've done more than 50 projects in AR, VR and 360 space. We share a very esteemed clientele like Runwal, Shapurji, Palanji, Rustamji, Ashan Housing Limited, Aryan Superstructures in metropolitan cities like Pune, Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai. In pharma sector, we share clientele like Cipla, Piramal Healthcare. In 360, we have worked with clients like Chitave Bandhu, Mithai Wale, Rikem RPG, Wellspun Textiles India.
This is not an advertisement, like.
No, this is not. But just to tell them that did we actually?
We are actually credible to speak about this topic.
I think the only thing which we are credible to talk about is how we started in college. How you can also start being in college.
Step 1, find what you're good at. Step 2, try to generate value for other people. Step 3, if you're good at generating value for other people, try to find out how valuable your time is and then charge accordingly.
I think we're done here. I think Winston has summarized the episode.
Yeah, you
I think we should
yourself
stop
out, man.
here.
Put yourself out, sell yourself.
Sell yourself, man.
Work
Market
working
yourself.
hard.
Sure. So I think it was fabulous. Thank you so much, guys. I think we had fun like we do always. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. If you like the kind of content we are bringing, so this is the first attempt of me doing a fireside chat. I'll be bringing out a lot of such episodes in future. So if you like this, do like, share and subscribe. Bye bye.